Hello everyone, factoring in today's first video, doing JMA Friday for today's first video. So, as always on a Friday, we have a look at the weather for the month ahead with Japanese and CFS V2 miles. Very busy day coming up at GavsWeatherVids today. So, you're going to have a 10 to 14 day video update with all of regular features this afternoon. And we shall also be showing you around sort of 6-ish this evening. We'll be showing you the ECMWF 42 day update. So I'm going to look at weather next 6 weeks. It takes into the early part of December. Can you believe it, with the ECMWF extended model? So that could be really, really interesting coming up sort of early evening time for 5 o'clock. And they'll have a live stream tonight from 10 or after 10. So we'll check in and see how we're all doing on this Friday night, where we will be under curfew again, of course. So that'll be a bit of fun and a bit of a laugh after 10 o'clock tonight. Right, starting it all off though is JMA Friday. So these are the 500 millibar hydrometers from the North Pole and Arctic view down. So this is the North Pole of the Northern Hemisphere. Just here we've got the wider Arctic Circle around there, but of course got mid-latitudes around here. Red, yellow and orange extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure. Blue to low pressure. So broken down to weekly periods. The first week period takes us from the 23rd through to the 30th of October. So coming week looks unsettled, with low pressure below average heights out to west of the country and feeding in quite a strong westerly flow as well. We have got some higher pressure up to the north. That's left over from the northern blocking that we had earlier in the month, but it's receding away. And with high pressure strengthening through the Azores down towards the south and west of Spain and Portugal, and low pressure strengthening around the North Atlantic. We're strengthening the zonal flow. We're bringing in westerly winds. It looks unsettled and Atlantic driven in the weekend. We go through to week 2, which is going to take us from the 30th of October to the 6th of November, with again below average heights, low pressure up to the north around Greenland and Iceland, above average heights pushing northwards from the Azores into northern Europe. So it's high pressure over Scandinavia, and the Azores highs feeding into that. Jet stream is pushing northwards. That could be a drier and very mild start to November. That could be a very, very mild start to November, but should be a little bit drier, particularly so for more southern parts of the country. Then weeks 3 and 4 taking us from the 6th to the 20th of November, looking like this. Above average heights going over Scandinavia or over Scandinavia, and sort of extending down to the east of us. Lower pressure is out to our west. It looks like it's more anticyclonic here. And it's difficult to interpret what the temperature will be doing with that, because we could be pulling up southerly winds, which is probably going to be quite mild. But it wouldn't take all that much to bring in like a southeasterly or even an easterly type flow. And of course, in November, that's going to be quite cold, coming in off a rapidly cooling continental landmass. So it's one of those that's in between. It could go either way. It's on a knife edge between being probably very mild and drawing the wind up from like Mediterranean, or being quite cold, bringing wind in from somewhere like Germany, or potentially being, you know, really very cold, wintry, with proper easterly winds feeding in the wind from Russia or somewhere like that. It's one of those that could go in any direction, really. As it is, what the model is showing is probably like southeasterlies. So at some point, a very mild spell, and then maybe cooling down as the wind starts to move in from up the continent. Quite an interesting one. Right, these are how the mid-latitudes is looking. So, of course, that's the North Pole and Arctic view down. This is mid-latitude and tropical view, equatorial view as well. So, British Isles in top right-hand corner of the chart as you are looking at it just there. We can't see the Arctic, Greenland, Scandinavia, all those areas are off the chart up here. But we can see like the North Atlantic. So from the 23rd to the 30th of October, we've got low pressure driving in from off the Atlantic, looking very westerly and very unsettled in the week ahead. Temperature anomalies are forecast to be above average in many parts of the UK, although just to our west it is cooler than average, but actually model is forecasting above average temperatures in the week ahead by around 1 to 2 degrees. And obviously with low pressure driving in off the Atlantic, going to be unsettled as well. very unsettled with above average rainfall in the week ahead. Moving through to week 2, taking us from the 30th of October to 6th of November, we find the above average heights strengthening to the south and into the UK. Low pressure is out to the northwest, jet stream being pushed northwards as well. So it looks like we're going to more of an anticyclonic type scenario. Now, temperature anomaly isn't as high in week 2 as it is in week 1, interestingly. So temperature anomaly is still probably a little bit above average, but certainly not excessively so. And of course, with higher pressure building in, so it's turning drier as well. So a little bit wetter than average in extreme north to northwest of the country, but most places are actually a bit drier there as we move into the beginning of November. And then heading into weeks 3 and 4 takes us from the 6th through to 20th of November. We see above average heights again, setting up, let's get rid of that. We see above average heights again, setting up to over and to the east of the country. This time it does extend up to Scandinavia up there as well, off the chart. Low pressure through here. And yeah, so could I be drawing up like a southerly wind, or we may be bringing in a bit of an easterly, southeasterly type wind. Temperature anomalies are forecast to be very close to average once again, not a particularly big deviation, and the precipitation anomaly is driving average once more. So that does give us the idea that we are being placed under high pressure more towards our east during these 2 weeks, which could become quite chilly. You know, that could really start to cool things down if we do start to pull the wind in from off the continent. Right, that's the JMA. Let's see how the CFS V2 compares. So again, these are 500 millibar heights, but they're breaking down into weekly pairs. The first weekly pair will take us from the 23rd to the 29th of October. Coming week, we'll have low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic. So it looks really unsettled in the week ahead. Week 2 looks like that, the 30th of October to the 5th of November, raising the heights to our south and southwest, low pressure up to the north. Winds coming in from a southwest direction. Again, that could be very mild. That could be really, really mild start to November, pulling up wind from the southwest. And should be turning drier as well. After that wet week 1, should be turning drier in week 2. Weeks 3 and 4 takes us from the 6th to the 12th of November. High pressure then sitting to our east, very much in line with what JMA is showing. But low pressure out to the northwest, so we remain like in a southwesterly type pattern. And still quite unsettled up to the north and west. That would be mild, of course. And then week 4 takes us from the 13th to the 19th of November. Again, a lot of high pressure to our east. Low pressure is out to the west. And so, again, we keep the wind coming from a southwesterly direction. And despite that, we've got high pressure sitting to our east. We're generally dominated by the Atlantic. So the CFS is putting the emphasis on the Atlantic. The low pressure from the Atlantic. JMA puts the emphasis on the high pressure over continent. But the CFS, yes, it's Atlantic driven, so it's probably quite unsettled, particularly for more northern west parts of the country, and it would also be mild or even very mild with winds in from the southwest. Temperature anomalies for week 1 with CFS V2, 23rd, 29th of October, cooler than average. Remember, JMA is forecasting a milder than average week in week ahead, so there are odds as early as week 1 with the temperature anomaly. Week 2 temperature anomaly is on the 30th of October, 5th of November, going slightly milder than average temperatures beginning to lift up. Week 3 temperature anomalies from the 6th to the 12th of November is again forecast to be slightly above average. And then week 4, which is the 13th, 19th of November, actually goes very mild, very, very mild week coming up then. If that's right, we're up to around 1 to 2 degrees above average potentially. So yeah, really, really mild week coming up there in week 4 in the middle part of November. On the face of it, we could be setting up a very mild November here. We shall have to wait and see. The JMA looks anticyclonic and potentially a little bit cooler, although the thing with that is that we're on a knife edge like between southerly southwesterlies or southerly southeasterlies, and that makes a big difference, you know, to the feel of weather. The CFS is really going to town on pushing up those temperatures through November. CFS is looking very, very mild as we go through to November, and still rather unsettled as well. Actually, I haven't shown you the rainfall anomaly, have I? So let's just do that, CFS. This is CFS week 1 rainfall anomaly. Getting ahead of myself. It's 23rd, 29th of October. Looks a bit wetter than average. Sorry about that, everyone. This is week week 2 rainfall anomaly from the 30th of October to the 5th of November, near normal. Week 3 rainfall anomaly from the 6th to the 12th of November, again near normal. And week 4, 13th to 19th of November, looks near normal to a little bit wetter than average. So that really does round it all off. That really does round off all of the data. Sorry about that, everyone. I get a little bit ahead of myself. But I saved it right at the end, didn't I? So there we go. Yeah, it looks like we could be setting up a very mild pattern, certainly through the first half of November, if CFS is right. Remember, the JMA is a little bit more anti-cyclonic and pulling in a little bit more influence from the continent, and so it could be a little bit on the cooler side, perhaps. We shall see how it all works out. So it's just a snapshot of what these 2 miles are showing today. They could look very different next week, so any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with a big health warning. Of course, we'll be extending out even further out than week 4, though. We're going to go 6 weeks out with the ECMWF early this evening. It's going to be a fascinating update. It takes into the start of December, so watch out for that, like around 6 o'clock this evening, 5-6 o'clock this evening. Before then, we'll have a 10 to 14 day update with all of regular features as well, and we're going to have a live stream at 10 o'clock time. So keep checking back to all of the updates for this video for JMA Friday. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.